Some other international stories. That, of course, was a story that could impact us all. What is the social media going to be about? But let's shift our attention now to Iran, where the Supreme Leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, has now broken his silence on the renewed nuclear talks with the United States, calling the recent dialogue satisfactory, but warning against trusting Washington's motives. He said that he is neither overly optimistic nor pessimistic, striking a careful tone as both the nations tiptoe through a high-stakes diplomatic deal. Now, talks had begun on the 12th of April in Muscat in Oman, and they're set to continue on the 19th of April. While both delegations described the initial round as positive, Tehran remains quite wary, especially after the President Donald Trump had ditched the 2015 nuclear deal and had recently threatened military action if a new deal is not struck. Diplomats hope that these talks can pave the way for a new agreement that addresses Iran's advancing nuclear program and the broader mistrust that has long plagued the US-Iran relations. Now, Iran maintains that its nuclear program is strictly for peaceful purposes, and its delegation has emphasized that sanctions relief must be the cornerstone of any new agreement. But according to the Iranian officials, lifting the crushing economic sanctions would be a crucial step toward rebuilding trust and stabilizing relations. In fact, the United States has its own condition as well. The American officials are pushing for broader terms that not only limit Iran's nuclear activities, but also address the ballistic missile program and regional influence. These are two issues that have been the points of contention between US and Iran time and again. And despite these clear hurdles and decades of entrenched distrust, both the sides appear quite committed to keeping the door to diplomacy open. And as April 19th approaches, the world watches quite closely because any development there would be crucial for the entire world. The outcome of these talks could redefine the future of the Iran nuclear deal. Senior consulting editor Shinjoy Chaudhary is on the broadcast with us of what can be expected next. Shinjoy, we've been speaking a lot about how Trump is known to be very surprising. He can throw up an element of surprise anytime. But with Iran's, it can have some dangerous consequences. What's expected on the 19th now?
First of all, America has sent two nuclear-powered aircraft carriers, super carriers in the Persian Gulf. That mind. Secondly, it is also important to note that there is a precedent. There is a precedent in the sense that President Obama had worked on a nuclear deal. So something like that can be, if possible. Also, Iran would rather speak to America indirectly than directly. That too is a problem that has to be worked out. But there is a potential for success because Iran wants a deal, and Donald Trump's second favorite word after tariffs is deal. So something can be done. But the important thing is to have a will. And if Iran has a will, and if America has a will, it can get worked out.
Okay, all right, Shinjoy, thank you for joining us. In fact, there is a lot of distrust between the two nations. And now talks are expected to continue on the 19th.
Ambassador Stephen Witkoff conducted talks with the Iranian foreign minister, which were hosted by the Omani foreign minister. As the White House statement described, quote, the discussions were very positive and constructive, and the sides agreed to meet again next Saturday. Our goal remains clear. In the words of Ambassador Witkoff, quote, a deal with Iran will only be completed if it is a Trump deal. Any final arrangement must set a framework for peace, stability, and prosperity in the Middle East, meaning that Iran must stop and eliminate its nuclear enrichment and weaponization program.
So what's expected next could be interesting to see. The Supreme Leader of Iran, Ayatollah Khamenei, has said that as of now, talks are continuing. As of now, things have been positive, but he has also outlined the distrust that he has on the United States. He has said that he can neither be overly optimistic nor is he going to be pessimistic about these talks. Shinjoy, on what's expected next on the 19th, in fact, Khamenei as well saying that neither is he too optimistic nor too pessimistic about the deal with the United States.
Undoubtedly, the whole point is that there is huge levels of distrust between America and Iran. Let's not forget that Iran refers to America as the great Satan and Israel as the little Satan. So to start afresh is not going to be easy. The only other positive is the fact that there is a precedent. There was some forward movement vis-a-vis a nuclear deal during President Obama's time. Also, the Iranians prefer an indirect approach. They don't want to speak with America directly. They want to speak indirectly. So there are these options. There is some hope, but there is a lot of pressure and tension on both sides. So it is important to go very cautiously and hope that something gets worked out, because the stakes are very high. And let's not forget that Iran is very close to having a nuclear weapon. If Iran gets itself a nuclear weapon, then the entire Middle East will be a little different.
Absolutely. So the stakes are high, and it's going to be a very significant meeting, because a deal, if it's struck, is going to be a big step towards peace in the world. Srinjoy, thank you for joining us with those details.